Do you really need a brain to know that anybody on that IBC team will do what the president wants? You don't need a brain. No, you don't have to have a brain even. That's why I've been attacking people like Kalonzo and Raila Odinga. They are giving IBC power IBC does not have. For example, if I ran for president, why would I go to Bomas or wait anything from Bomas? I just count my votes at the polling station. That's what the law says. They are tallied at the constituency level. And I thank the people of Kenya for making me president.
Very good day to you, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of the Candy Talk here on Herman Manyora's YouTube channel. My name is Evans Okinya and I'm glad that you're here with us. Of course, today's episode is proudly brought to you by 1442 Cousin, a very luxurious apartment down here at South B. I'm here with the Professor Herman Manyora. Prof, how are you?
I'm wonderful. Yeah.
I've seen you've always had conversations with Jadil Kabiro and Richard Mwenja at this very place. What strikes you most about this particular project here?
Well, it's a nice project, very affordable. Today, people are selling apartments very expensively. This is modest.
Yes.
It's in a good place, very close to town. You don't even need to drive here. You are light at the stage here. Is this called Bellevue stage? You walk here less than 200 meters. This way to get is much easier in terms of access to credit. You don't even need to have money, so long as you can prove you can pay. So that's very attractive. And above all, and that's why I'm talking about it. Above all, it is a straight deal. You are dealing with the owners, the developers. It's like buying land from owners. If you buy land from an owner, it's different from buying land from, they're called brokers or agents. There's a big difference. First, in terms of price, but secondly, in terms of the security of the deal. You are assured that you are buying land from the owner. Chances ya ukora minimal. So the same here. This is developed by the owners, and they are the ones selling. Of course, they are being assisted by Njao, who is the selling agent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely, I'll tell you more about this apartment here at South B. Ladies and gentlemen, I want us to get into a conversation of what is actually happening in the country. Prof, the political tensions and temperatures in the country are actually high right now. I saw in one of our family WhatsApp groups, I was being told, look, Evans, be kind of careful. Even try to avoid even the social media platforms as much as possible, because you see what is actually happening in the country. Do you think that the government has actually managed to instill fear among the people through what is happening right now?
Well, maybe yes, maybe no. There was a time when students, wherever they went, the buzzword was finish your school. Wacha mambo ya Kenya. Finish. Maliza uende. Because it had become very risky for students and so on and so forth. Well, it worked because it created some fear, including parents telling children. Those days, whenever universities were closed, you are sent home to report to your chief, who really harassed you. What is a product of that? A docile society, and questioning society. And we are paying for it now. So we would have been better off as a country if the students of the 1980s and 1990s had continued questioning things the way the Orengos of the 1970s had done. Then we would not have produced a generation of docile people who have brought Kenya to where it is. So fear may work, and even if it were to work, the consequences are not good for the country and for the people in general. But I doubt that fear can work in the 21st century.
Okay.
I very much doubt. Yeah.
Let's wait and see that aside. Of course, that is what we're witnessing in the country, and of course, our team is following up on that. I want us to get into this conversation because amidst all this happening in the country is engulfing, talking about what actually happened to Albert Ojwang, the young teacher who lost his life. But at the same time, President William Ruto went ahead and appointed the IBC commission fully now with the chairperson and all the other commissioners. And this actually happens even after the court had actually pronounced itself on the same and said that their names should not have been gazetted. Therefore, first of all, do you have a problem with the court ruling that actually paved the way for the parliament to ensure that they approve these particular names?
You know, our courts are always ambivalent. You know, our courts don't give clear directions, clear opinion, clear rulings, clear judgment. So this is just one of those instances where don't do. So I don't blame the president.
Because I was actually wondering at that time, how do you allow the parliament to go ahead and vet?
Yes.
And definitely, for us in this country, it's more of rubber stamping. There is nothing so serious that our parliament actually does. Then after that, you expect that the president should not actually go ahead and appoint.
No, I don't blame the president. I blame the courts. This is a very serious matter. The courts can hear this matter and be done with it in a matter of hours. You know? So instead of saying continue vetting and then don't do the next step, that doesn't make sense. So the better thing would have been let the court spend just like a week or a few days and dispense with the case. And then let politicians do their work. Yeah. That would be the best way. But to say, oh, let Parliament vet, but then the next stage stop, come on, doesn't make sense. So I don't want to blame the president. I want to blame the judiciary.
But if the courts actually already pronounced themselves on the same and prevented the gazetting of these names, then don't you find it kind of wrong for the president to go ahead and do
Of course, that there's some violation, there's some breach. But you see who has created the opportunity, the environment in which the breach will take place? The judiciary. Yeah. It is them who have presented that opportunity to the president.
Okay.
They should have denied him by saying everything on hold, but also you put things on hold, but move with speed, because this is not a matter that you can wait. Yeah. That can wait.
We are looking at this situation, and of course, several people have gone ahead. I've seen even some of the human rights activists write to the judiciary, and they're actually requesting the Chief Justice, Honorable Martha Koome, to make sure that the judiciary keeps off anything to do with swearing in of this particular commission. Do you think they're also justified in doing so?
Well, you see, we are not serious people. And I've said this repeatedly. And until and unless we become serious, we will never move as a country. All these roads you see around will remain a poor, dirty third world country that could collapse anytime. Because we are not serious people. We have to be serious. If something is wrong, and the Constitution has given the power to arbitrate as a judiciary, do so speedily, expeditiously, judiciously, of course. And if somebody has gone ahead and done what you have not, then the judiciary should have nothing to do with it. How can you then go and swear the people? But they will do it. I would be surprised if they didn't. That's where we are as a country. We are jokers. All of us collectively, we are just jokers. We are jokers and yet expect that at some point, miraculously, somehow, this country will be successful. That our Kenyan population will get out of the slums. That Kenyan children will stop going to school barefoot and use maggot-filled toilets, pit latrines, if those who are lucky to have. We think somehow miraculously, the hundreds of thousands of children who go to school with jiggers in their toes, those jiggers will disappear. They will not disappear. They will multiply. We will continue being the laughing stock of the world because we lack seriousness. To move a country forward, you need a serious level of seriousness. So if the judiciary have sanctioned, they say, do not do this. The government has gone ahead and done it. How then will the judiciary participate in the swearing of the same people? But I'll be shocked. I'll be quite surprised and perhaps even shocked if they don't swear them in. Yeah.
Here we are.
That's who we are. That's who we have chosen to be. And we must live with it.
Okay. What do you make of the issues that were raised about these individuals who've now been appointed by the president? Of course, people are talking over people knowing each other and people being connected. And somebody was asking, must you know somebody in this country? Because we're like, if you look at that entire list, there is some sort of...
including a person who didn't apply.
Definitely, including somebody
including people who are not on the list, whose names were sneaked in. That is what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong.
Yes.
You have chosen to be like that as a people, as a country. A country where people are not serious. So you have to live with it. So when there is famine, some of it just artificial, because it has been created for people to import cereals. And you see your own people featuring on media, CNN and what have you, dying of hunger. Live with it, accept it. When you know very well people think we are animals because of the way we treat our own, it has been said many times over that if you want to know people, look at the way they treat the least fortunate among them, the poor, the vulnerable. Then you can classify people. So how are we classified internationally by people when 80% of people in Nairobi live in those things you call slums without even toilet, leave alone clean water? People can't see us as human beings. So, but we have chosen that way. So let us live that way. Yeah. Let's live that way. Let's accept it. Even when you put on a suit like this, people just see you like a monkey in a suit. Yeah. So let's live like that. And then we have to accept it. Yeah.
So elections are approaching, and one of the big players in this particular election has decided now, of course, has gone ahead and chosen the referee at this point. Doesn't this actually prick our minds as Kenyans? Because look at where we are. At the present, it's like he doesn't even care whatever these guys say, whatever the court said. For him, he's decided, look, let's move with it. Don't you think that there is a problem here, even in terms of who should actually appoint the
Sometimes I don't even understand. I've said it repeatedly. These are Kenyans you are dealing with. Even if I want an IBC that is compliant, and I'm not saying anybody wants an IBC that is compliant, but people arguing, if you didn't want, why are you going for people who are compromised? Why are you sneaking names in? Why are you getting people related to you or related so and so and so and so? Unless you really want to compromise. But I keep asking, do you really need a brain to know that anybody on that IBC team will do what the president wants? You don't need a brain. No, you don't have to have a brain even. There's a small bird in my place called Shiu. There's a small little bird like this. Inaruka hapo nje na kukula vitu. Hata yogopi sana. Tiny like, even if you have the brain of that bird, Shiu. You would still know that it doesn't matter who is in IBC. They will do what powers want them to do. This is Kenya. So why would I bother if I wanted a compromise IBC? Why would I bother who gets in? I'll just let the best get in. And then I'll deal with them. So sometimes I wonder, where are these people? Where are their advisors? You don't get people who outright look compromised. Yet, anybody who gets there will be compromised. Why not get clean people and then deal with them? Ambia wewe mzee, Mungu amekuletea nafasi ya kubadilisha maisha yako. Usilete ujinga hapa. Hutaki kwenda Karen? Ambia mzee, najua mimi. Okay, sawa. Tomorrow ukirudi nakwambia, okay, ulikuwa unasemaje? Yeah, so it's nonsense. Okay. I cannot look, if I wanted to compromise IBC, I wouldn't go for it during the selection. That's the point I'm making. I'll wait for these Kenyans to go there, then I'll deal with them there. And we all know it. Case in point, there was somebody called Oswago. Everybody thought he would work for Raila.
Yeah,
Did he?
He
didn't.
He didn't.
So what are we talking about? This Kina Hassan, who put them there? Is Raila. Did they work for him?
Not really.
Nonsense. Even Chebukati. Initially it was Raila's push, I think, unless I'm forgetting. So what am I saying? I'm saying you don't create unnecessary trouble for yourself. Once somebody gets there, even if you push them, they will forget about you. They will listen where the music is sweeter. Where there are better beats. And the Kenyan beats. You know Kenyan beats? Zinalilia mahali gani hizo beats? Karibu na mfuko, eh? But on a serious matter, on a serious note, I pity people who are wasting their time with IBC. And I want Kenyans to listen to me. Especially those in power. Kenyans are past IEBC. That's why I've been attacking people like Kalonzo and Raila Odinga. They are giving IBC power IBC does not have. For example, if I ran for president, why would I go to Bomas or wait anything from Bomas? I just count my votes at the polling station. That's what the law says. They are tallied at the constituency level. And I thank the people of Kenya for making me president. And I begin the process of forming my government.
Okay.
Yeah, the same night. I address the Kenyan public. I thank them. I hope my opponents already know. And in due course, in a few more elections, they will be the ones calling the victor. What is that bombers that Kenyans go for? These cheap political leaders. Secondly, the people of this country, in the elections that are coming ahead, will determine their president. They will vote at the polling station. The results will be known. Nobody will mess with those results. They know, I come from Luombei, there's a polling station there. There is Saride, there's Garona. I'm trying to remember home. Those are home polling stations. Finally, it is just a matter of, I don't know what, and everybody knows in Hamis constituency, Manyora has so many votes. Evans Okenyi has so many. And then we know Hamisi, we know Sabatia, we know what, we know Lamu, we know Kwale, we know Mkuruweni. And within by 9 o'clock of the voting day, we know the president. So how important is the IBC?
Okay.
It has no power. It has no role, absolutely. Let me also demonstrate this. There was an issue about returning officers that went to court in 2017. Recruitment of returning officers would not be as crooked as it has been before. People demand accountability. You know how people are fishing out information about people?
I definitely know.
You know? We will know how you make this man a returning officer and yet 1, 2, 3. So it will be very difficult to do what I saw in the election of 2022, where returning officers were predominantly from certain sector quarters. You will not do that in 2027, 2032, 2037. I'll give you a live example what that happened in my place. There was young men who were being recruited. I have remembered it wasn't for IBC. I think it was enumerators or during the, what do you call this thing?
The one for
census.
Yes.
So the young men went to my place, and I think it will happen in many other places. They offered themselves to do the job. The list came out. The list, as usual in the Kenyan sense, was a crooked list. Somebody's been given, and it doesn't belong to that location, that ward, that area, that sublocation. Yet, because you are knocking on people's homes at night, it must be voices they know. Kusema mimi nimekuja kwa mambo ya kwesa. Wewe ni mtoto wa nani? Oh, haya mtoto wa Manyora. Ni wewe ule anasoma Nairobi. Yeah, people know you. And yet, the usual Kenyan guys had recruited in the usual Kenyan way and taking bribe. They brought people who are not even known.
Okay.
Secondly, they left out, and this is what cooked them. They left out university students. I remember because one of them was my son. They left out university students. They just went to the head office the following day. And the list was overturned. The university students just went.
Yes.
Yeah, they just went. And anybody can argue with me about the last census in Hamis. They just went. And the list was redone. That is the Kenya I'm talking about. So I would rather, if I was in charge, I work with the people. Even if I have some evil design, if you are working with the people, it is easier than thinking you can impose people. In the 21st century, in 2025, and in the election of 2027, IBC will have very little role in the election. Yeah. It's just like clerical work, facilitative. But the power they have, you wait and see.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is it. Of course, we've been having this conversation about the president's decision to go ahead and appoint the IEBC chairperson as well as the commissioners against the backdrop of the courts preventing that. But the president has gone ahead. Tell us here what you actually think about that particular action by the president, who is now player in the 2027 general elections, but as, of course, the powers given to him, has chosen the referee. Ladies and gentlemen, even as everything happens in this country, we must always get a place to stay, to live and all that. Vijana pale tunasema kwamba tuko na keja hapa South B. We are having here a 1-bedroom apartment as well as the 2-bedroom units, Prof. And these are very serene environment, very secure, with good proximity to the Nairobi Central Business District. Some of the amenities that these apartments actually have are like the backup generator, CCTV cameras, underground tank, Dolby area. And these houses are actually all en suite. And there is ample parking and, of course, rooftop access. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if at all you're looking for a place that will give you value for your money and you'll experience true life, then please come to this place here at Kusini, 1442 Kusini, located in South B. You can actually contact them at www.1442kusini.co.ke, or you can call them on 0700 586-243. That's their number. But of
Ask
course,
them
Prof,
questions. And if there is one you want someone else to whisper to you, if you have some doubts,
yes,
it's normal.
Definitely.
Get a third opinion. I'm not the developer. I'm helping them to reach clients.
But of course, you've done due diligence.
I have done to the best of my ability. That doesn't stop you, the buyer, from doing your due diligence. But there are always those questions you want a third opinion on.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to stop for now till we have this conversation again. Weigh in and tell us what you actually think. My name is Evans.